Well, that went by a little too fast for us to be able to read. That's right, everybody. Nintendo and Rareware are presenting a game where you play as... Gee, a guy who's a bit of a sex pest sometimes. You know, for the N64, this is not the worst recreation of this sort of, like, gun barrel sequence that I think you could ask for. Although the logo part itself is a little bit undercooked, but whatever. That guitar is going crazy, though. Rest in Rip, however, we don't get the actual theme song. GoldenEye, I said this before I started recording the VOD, but GoldenEye is definitely not one of my favorite of the Jimbo Joker films here, but GoldenEye does have an all-timer of a theme song, so it definitely deserves at least some credit for that. What do we got going on? Do we have 4 save files? Huh, that's interesting. And no gunshot noise on clicking on these, which is probably fair. I was gonna say, are we allowed to go into the multiplayer despite the fact that we're only one of us? And also, I assume that this folder is supposed to say For Your Eyes Only, which is a different James Bond film. We're playing this on the basic baby difficulty. I don't even know how to frickin' control this game, so let's see what's going on here for this background. MI6 has confirmed the existence of a secret chemical warfare facility at the Bielamoria Dam. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I apologize. In the USSR. Oh, well, I assumed that whoever was saying it in the film was struggling a little bit too to get it correct. Its heavily guarded location and workings are a cause for major concern. Nerve gas produced there has been turning up in the hands of hostile regimes around the world, and deals with international terrorists have been rumored. This facility should be destroyed with extreme prejudice. If you say so. Actually, that does sound kind of bad news. The area around the dam is well defended against full-scale military attack, but a lone agent stands a much better chance. Easiest way to gain entrance to the weapons factory will be to get down to the face of the dam. Q had an idea about that. Oh boy, I can't wait to hear this one. As long as it doesn't involve an invisible car, we may be okay. Because, let me tell you, if it involves an invisible car, I'll be upset. That thing was horrible. For anybody who doesn't know what film I'm referring to, it's Die Another Day. Give me just a second. I realized I forgot to post in one location. Do this. Alright. Information concerning shipping and contacts is stored on a computer system in a secret ops room within the dam. With this covert modem connected to their satellite link, we can intercept the data when a backup is carried out. As for getting down the dam, use the bungee rope. At the bottom of the jump, use the Pitten gun. Pitten gun? I am not familiar with that word exactly. I think we could probably solve that with a magnet, the computer thing. Moneypenny says, hardly a lover's leap, James. Be careful, though. I hate to think of you falling for anyone else. Girl, have you ever heard of someone named Felix Leiter? Considering I've seen all of the films except for the old version of Casino Royale, I have no idea why I didn't watch that. One of these days, though. Yes, that means that I have, in fact, seen License to Kill, which, yes, somebody will probably be like, well, actually, streamer, to which my response is, no, hear me out here. Okay, so our C buttons, we can strafe with these, and then we just aim up and down. We have no aiming reticle here, do we? Z button to shoot. Double tap A twice to reload. Okay, yeah, and the D-pad is the same as our C button controls here. The bottom end on this music is a little bit weak, especially when it also has that like searing guitar in there. It feels a little bit silly, at least to me. And as we all know, there's one thing that James Bond isn't about, and that's being silly. Okay, we hold the L button to get an aiming, or the R button, apparently. Okay, if we want to swap to another weapon, we press the A button. I gotcha. I'm not sure if these controls are necessarily what I would immediately go to as like, oh yes, this is a good idea. Can we like reload on demand with maybe the B button or something? We did get ourselves a sniper rifle in this glass encased little area here, which is a great place to be using a sniper rifle, obviously. Depending on how bulletproof that glass is. Okay, yeah, B to just quick reload. That's good. Don't want to forget that. And here we've got some rock textures that look a little bit like body horror, honestly. Are you sure we're not playing Half-Life on the N64? Oh, God. Can you imagine N64 Half-Life? Ooh, boy, that would probably be a little bit on the rough side. Oop. Oh, well, we managed to break through the glass here. That's good. It's very helpful. Let's pick up some body armor. Admittedly, it doesn't really feel like exactly the style of old Jimbo here, but hey. He gets the job done, right? These controls, by the way, not really the greatest feeling thing in the world. I don't know how much of that is due to the fact that I am obviously not playing on an N64 controller, being that I'm playing this on an emulator, ho ho ho, Green Giant. But I am using an Xbox Series X controller again, as always. And we opened that thing and the truck have started to move. We're supposed to get in the back of it. Suppose I'll find out later. Okay, no, that's just the way I came. I didn't think I had made as much of a turn as I did. But I think this thing probably threw me off a little bit. Oh, there's the other switch. Okay. Yep, you gotta wait for the other gate to close behind you. Wait for the airlock to do its thing. And say that That guy definitely saw me for at least like half a second there. And then he's back to not giving a shit. Which is good for me, because, hey, they can just have this alarm going and I can be in such a position where I don't care. I have to admit, I am kind of eager to see how well this sniper rifle zooms or does not. And the answer is, it is not amazing. Pretty good rate of fire on that thing, though. I was hoping they'd have another way to open that thing. Door is locked. Oh, come on. You're James Bond. Surely you've got... Okay, you can just shoot the lock. Good. Sure. Agent Under Fire. Do I remember... Not at all, actually. Okay, big asterisk when I say not at all there, Roundy. I know the name, and not just because I feel you've mentioned it at some point. But I've definitely heard the name before. This was a late 90s, early aughts game, I believe. So in a period where on some level the James Bond franchise was undergoing a bit of a revival, I would hazard to say, which kind of makes sense because obviously the films... There was a 6-year gap between License to Kill, which was the last with Timothy Dalton. Oh my god, with Timothy Dalton. And GoldenEye, which came out in 1999, which of course was the first with Pierce Brosnan. First of too many. I think Pierce Brosnan's James Bond came off a little bit douchey, even by the standards that we're talking about here. You know, not that Jim necessarily always comes off as much of a nice man, but okay. So I guess our two pistols share an ammo pool, so I got to be a little bit careful with those. Timothy Dalton B. Okay, yeah, PS2 era. That makes sense. They'd play every James Bond game, do it. Oh my god, dude. There's some old fucking games in that category. There's stuff for like 80s PCs for... Actually, wait, the one that I know about in that regard is for Living Daylights, so suddenly this sounds like a good idea, actually. Gee, and to think you don't even have to pay me for that. Call the There's a racing one? Holy fuck! Oh my god, Mondays may just be me trying out James Bond games until I run out of them then. Oh god, I bet if I tried to play First Light, my computer would fucking explode. Which actually, admittedly, was going to be part of the bit behind this, was like, oh yeah, I can't play fucking First Light, but that one did actually catch my interest. But, yeah, so Agent Under Fire is one that I recall the name of, because I definitely saw advertisements for it. And I assumed that I saw reviews for it too, because I definitely bought a lot of gaming magazines back in the day, back in the aughts. My family, we used to, there were a couple of, we lived in Chicago, right near the edge of Niles. And it was not far from this sort of, like, open plaza that, I don't know, it was a little too circular to call a strip mall and a little bit big. And we would go, and there were some places to eat over there. Mostly Chili's, which is, like... you make fun of Chili's quite a bit, to be fair. I ain't eating that shit anymore. But we would go there, like, fairly regularly and go eat out, and we would drop by the local Barnes & Noble also, and I would just pick up a gaming magazine, like, every time. So I absolutely saw some material for Agent Under Fire. Now, personally, I would not necessarily trust professional reviews much further than I could throw them with any sort of, like, legacy franchise kind of thing, you know? Because, first of all, game reviews in magazines are often a little bit bum, to put it nicely. And to put it less nicely, incredibly shit. Because, okay, every single magazine review tends to be a little bit on the, like, oh god, we don't want to offend our advertisers, so that way they don't pull their money. But gaming mags tend to be sort of the worst for that. And on some level, if you go back through an old video game magazine and you see an unequivocally negative review of a game, you can just sort of tell yourself immediately, oh boy, that publisher wasn't paying this company shit for this review. But also, on top of that, there's the fact that, like, I'm sure that even if they weren't being paid, there were probably at least some dudes who were writing reviews for those magazines who were just like, yeah, it's James Bond. Of course it's cool. James Bond is pretty cool, right? It's been going on for this long. And I have opinions about the franchise in general. I do actually enjoy some James Bond movies, but I gotta tell you, a lot of my feelings about James Bond as a series kind of relate back very heavily to them being incredibly goofy. It's why some of the ones that I love the most are, like, Moonraker. And a lot of the other Roger Moore ones. And also Living Daylights. That one I can't really explain on that end of things. But I don't think anyone our age would give a fuck about James Bond without GoldenEye being totally... I do not disagree. I think that is definitely... James Bond is very much... As I use the phrase legacy media franchise, which... some people will probably be like, you're not using those words correctly, and you're not necessarily wrong. But definitely, it's one of those things that's for an older generation than for us millennials of an elder or middle persuasion. I can't stand the idea of perceiving myself as being young, you know? But I digress. Well, yeah, but your dad's like... super duper boomer, dude. Like, yeah. And again, as much as GoldenEye as, like, the video game being that, as I say, I think GoldenEye was also very much a revival of the franchise for people who are a little bit more filmy. As, you know, again, GoldenEye parentheses 1995 film, not GoldenEye parentheses whatever you would like to call this. That I think that a lot of people kind of had this perception that the Timothy Dalton movies were not very good. And I think a lot of people also kind of were, like, getting a little bit tired of some of the Roger Moore stuff by the time you hit the 80s, because it was like, you know, too much antics, right? I mean, Octopussy, he literally was dressed up as a clown. And then View to a Kill, Roger Moore was like 800 years old or something. well, okay, the main thing that he wasn't literally that old, obviously, but it was, I definitely recall reading a lot of reviews after watching the movie being like, yeah, Roger Moore is pretty old. It's not believable anymore, which it was believable to begin with, but I digress. But yeah, definitely a lot of the anything to say about GoldenEye has the asterisk of Nintendo children attached to it, because it is often a bit of a weird thing to remember sometimes that no, not every kid had Nintendo hardware. In my family, we had a Sega Genesis for quite a while, until eventually we got an N64, and then moved over to PS2. But then after the 2000s, we basically started going a lot wider, but hey. Do I have to hit all of these things? Yes, let me just turn on the alarms. As M is just watching us like, 007, what the fuck are you doing? And Q is going, his best, obviously. Turn on the alarms and ask a security guy. You had an NES and a PC. We had a family friend who had an NES. So I did have access to an NES, but it was not in our household. And yeah, obviously, PC stuff was a thing. I played more PC games than console games when I was younger. I mean, PC is also kind of how I found a little bit of emulation. It also means that I was just a few years off, you know, speaking of that, of finding, like, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI and a lot of the classic SNES RPGs. But I like to think that I've apprised myself at least a little bit of the level of nostalgia that was involved in that era after a certain point. Or at least I like to think that I'm not, like, completely blinded into thinking, oh yeah, FF6 was the best one. Or anything like that. Granted, the first one I played was FF1, and, I mean, I wouldn't say the series beat there. No. I'm not going to be that level of sick fuck. I am, however, lost as hell, so... If there's something that I'm missing here, like if I gotta go snipe something real far away, then I'm dumb. Yeah, Roundy, I remember you mentioning that, and the short version of it, I guess, is basically... I don't want to necessarily splash the pot too hard or reveal too much about your life, but you did end up having an upbringing in a very religious household, basically, from what I recall. And so a lot of that console gaming stuff was kind of... They thought that it was a little bit... Ah, God, am I going to... Well, it's taken away my controls, so... Unless I'm... Am I entering a cutscene now? Yes, I just had to free fall first. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like... Is one that thought it should be religious. Yeah, I guess... Boy, asterisk seems to be the word of the day here today. Oh, that was it? That's all I had to do? Okay. Gain access to laboratory area, rendezvous with 006, destroy all tanks in bottling room. Are you guys fitting a full tank in the... Oh, no, you mean more like a... But, yeah, I mean, I guess religiosity in this country is a little bit of a wibbly thing, right? But, yeah, so I was at least around fellas who were savvy enough to gain access to ZSNES Nesticle would have been the NES emulator at the time. So I played a couple more games that were outside of the reach of. But I will say this: my Genesis library was small. The only games that I can really recall offhand at the time that I played were the Sonic games, obviously, all 5 of them that were for the Genesis, Vector Man, and Jurassic Park. The original Jurassic Park. There was a later one that was called, like, Rampage Edition or something, which makes it sound like it's just an enhanced... It's a completely different game for some reason. So, great naming scheme there. But, yeah, not a whole lot of Genesis games. I definitely didn't play any of the Phantasy Star games until much later. I discovered that series through PSO, like most people. Like, I think most people, anyway. But yeah, anyway. A lot of PC, a lot of Game Boy. Again, I think most of my gaming was bound to PC and or through emulators, which also included Game Boy stuff. I played Pokemon, like, when it came out. Red version, in my case. My brother played Blue. Through No Cash GMB, as was the emulator at the time. And we ended up both getting Game Boy Colors for Christmas one year, and both got Pokemon Yellow, which is one of those things where it's like... I appreciate what you're going for, but also that kind of stuff is a lot for a parent to understand, you know? Especially one that disconnected from your hobbies, right? Well, yeah, I mean, at least there was that, right? But it is kind of like... You really do want at least 2 different versions between those. We did get a Game Link cable, though, which was great for, not very much considering, but hey. Anyway, eventually we got different versions between Gold and Silver, so... Great for Machamps. That's right, Machamps.com, good point. Anyway, I should be reading this, sorry. Background. Inside the chemical weapons facility, you should quickly and efficiently proceed to the bottling area and place demolition charges on the main gas tanks. Political considerations demand that collateral damage is minimized on this mission. Non-military personnel should be disregarded. We'll be working with 006 on this assignment. The bottling room is the rendezvous point. Don't forget to contact our double agent scientist before you leave and warn him to get out. He will provide you with a decoder for the final security door. There are no women or casinos for 1,000 miles, 007, so even you will be able to concentrate on this mission. Oh, try me. Now listen carefully, Bond. Those bombs will be armed as soon as the last one is set. Don't be too close when you set them off, or you'll go up in flames as well. And while you're at it, please try and bring back that door opener undamaged for once. Too much rough handling like the last mission, and it might go wrong at a bad time. Honestly, 007, sometimes I think you damage your equipment on purpose. Hey, anything that gets me away from having to drive an invisible car. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got blindsided by Moneypenny referring to James Bond having pheromones, apparently. Is he from, like, the Omegaverse or something? Maybe the Timothy Dalton one. Okay, so crouching is automatic. Just sort of walk at a vent and you will hold up. All right, we're in the can. Do you want an air vent in that, like, open like that right over the shitter? I think at least offset it a little bit. Oh, hey. Who's shooting me and why? Oh. It's this guy. And he gave me... Oh yeah, there's our exploding thingies. And we got his assault rifle off of him. Why can't we just, like, steal his clothes and sneak around that way? I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of FF6 content lately. I actually kind of want to play FF6 again sometime. Even though it's a game that makes me, I have, like, extremely polarized opinions about some parts of it. TBH. But Locke does also get to just steal clothes off of dudes' backs in certain sequences in order to disguise himself. And I'm trying to think if there's other RPGs that I know of offhand where you just do that. Where you just enter into a fight and you just steal a guy's clothes and you put them on immediately. And that's just the puzzle of the zone. Red 13 is a Shinra soldier. Yeah, you know, just a cat, right? Shinra hiring practices are strange. Oh, nice. We got ourselves some body armor. Very good. Anyway, I forgot to respond to the thing that Roundy said, like, God, probably like 20 minutes ago by now, where it was talking about a UK magazine absolutely tearing ass on Shadowgate. That is, well, I gotta say for a start that Shadowgate, being an adventure game, that is super much an acquired taste. Especially if it's a console adventure game. Who lordy, but I highly doubt that that's where the amount of, air quotes, criticism was going there. What is this? What is this sign, by the way? Oh, I think that's to make our remote bombs explode, right? Like, is this just a no James Bond sign? Is that what I'm seeing here? Also, I appreciate that it makes a very, like, breaking tile sounding kind of sound when you shoot the tiles. God, are we just in their bathrooms, by the way? Like, I said bathrooms, not back rooms. Although the way, yeah, I mean, we're just sort of like constantly walking back and forth between the crapper here. So I'm pretty sure that we're just in like the washing up area for these dudes. I'm also pretty sure I need a key card, but I am getting turned around like hell in this place. It is, a lot of these things kind of look the same. I guess if I follow the signage, it might help, but... Why would we do that? When it's funnier if I just get horribly lost. Well, now what? This way, I guess? Oh, that just goes in it. Oh, okay, well, we found it. Found a key card. Does this lock still work? Unbelievably, yes, even though we did just kind of shoot the crap out of it. Oh, I don't know if that blowing up is necessarily a good thing. I'm sure it's fine. This is a remotely locked security door. Oh, that thing's not cracking. Dang. I was hoping we'd be able to just break it and, like, climb through or something. Unfortunately, no fun to be had here. Jimbo Joker has told his last jest. Or something. Alright, well, here's the shitter again. Not allowed smoke in here, apparently. What about the rest of the place? The problem here is that I'm not very good with, like, directions just full stop, really. And it definitely feels like most things look very similar to each other. Can't read these, the textures are too low resolution. It's the 90s, what do you expect? I expect some game company to do a quick and dirty quote-unquote HD remaster that just ruins everything. So if I just break this thing more, will that help us? Really hope so, because otherwise I'm not sure what actually to do. And this goes back to this chemical room here, right? Yeah, we can break these things if we want to. It's probably not worth it, but hey. So yeah, I was trying again just to be sure. Oh, I haven't even searched this place. Never mind. This guy just disappeared. Alright, well, we got a different key card. That's helpful. Obviously, there's nothing I can do with that because it's completely broken, but... I love how all of these crates explode, by the way. There is something, like, deeply funny about that. That has replenished our stores a little bit here. Now, are you sure this thing won't help us? Okay, it will. It said it was remotely operated, but for some reason... Remotely operated just means you need the Clearance A security card for it for some reason. Whatever you say, game developers. That didn't confuse me or anything. Ooh, we picked up one parentheses, digit 1, hand grenade. Watch out you don't kill the lab coat guys. Guys, how many of you are there? The answer is a lot, but... Man. Ah, he was just bait, wasn't he? Oh. There's a couple of scientist guys in here. I mean, it sort of stands to reason, but... all those little side chambers with all these guys are just going to be full of those. Also, that sound for opening the doors for these does not feel very appropriate at all. Go on, get out of here, dude. You're taking up space. Goes. I just really want those guys to get past as fast as possible. Alright, this has got to be the place, right? The level that's super popular with speedrun... I don't know. I've never seen a speedrun of this game, to be honest with you. Also, look at the quality on this dude's face texture. And then look at the rest of the model. The other half, alarms. Wait. Surrounded. Clearly not surrounded enough. It's just like the movie. Yep. Oh, I do have a melee attack when I'm unarmed. Good lord, look at how many of these guys there are. Wow. Well, rest and rip James Bond. I don't know how to tell you this, guys, but... they gave me a camera angle, that's for sure. I thought for sure I had to use the explosive charges on the, on those things, so... Rip. Alright, let's try this again. Where am I trying it again from is the question, though. The very start. Okay, well... In theory, there is now a possibility that I'm armed with more knowledge here, but... that is an extremely low likelihood thing. So we can karate chop ineffectively at that. I don't even know if that's breakable. Also, wow, referencing the movie with the invisible car. Get a load of this, nerd. Oh. A thing I also like is how it just says that we've picked up some ammo and it doesn't tell us for which gun. I mean, clearly we're at least able to identify on some level because the number will go up for the one that we have equipped if it's that one, but still. Just a little bit funny to me, that's all. Alright, well there's our key card. And here come the goons. Just filing right out of this room for some reason. Security door activated. Should... no, I guess it's that one. Okay. So now do we check in here again for a science man? Is that how this works? Or do we have to go back to the thing and deactivate the security device? And this science man just appeared the time before to give us a key card because of other reasons. It's the same restroom, I'm pretty sure. There's only the one, alright? Ah, I see. Well, that's helpful. That's some game design, alright? I swear that was necessary. It's not. Not at all. Now I can't even get out of this area. Ah, there we go. That gets us in here. Ah, yes, these soldiers are trying to cause me some problems here. Trying to make it so I accidentally killed the science men. Which I'm supposed to not do. Oh, I thought for some reason I messed with how that was scrolling when I pressed B on it. It did not. Arcade machines? If only, but not quite. There really are just a ton of these guys, huh? Eesh. So that means we get a lot of bullets. They leave? Not yet. Out of here, guys. Not a good idea to be here. Come on. I mean, alright. They don't all want to leave, then... I guess I can only tell them what to do so much. Alright. Hey, you. It's like that scene in the movie. This dialogue keeps going while we're not right in front of them. That much is helpful. Look out, guy. Ah, he's dead. He was gonna die anyway, though, I think, so... Alright, that's those. So now I gotta get out of here, right? Not this way. Not that way either. Well. Rip. Excuse me. Now I gotta replay this mission again. Although we did complete all the 4 objectives, I guess. So, I mean, technically we did what we were supposed to. We just kind of died. Oh, neat little pause sequence there. I'll be right back, everybody. Well, everybody, isn't the pause screen neat? Cute little rendition of a common leitmotif there as well. Lighter motif. Wait, sorry. Can't resist the bad jokes sometimes. It's a real problem. A real fake problem. Close that. Or we can see if we can get around this guy. This definitely seems like an unusual positioning for the doors to these stalls, because it definitely having one of them open just straight up into the door, into the wall rather, or into the door for that matter, I guess. Alright, well, there's our key card. Let's deal with a couple more of these bozos and get ourselves some bullets. Go find that body armor. Have that thing explode on us. Because, yes. Unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to go and find the science man who has the key card that we need. At least I think that's how this works, is that we need security pass card A, or clearance A key card. Otherwise, you know, if that thing gets broken, rather. Is how we're supposed to operate the machine if it's been blown up. Some more parts off of it for fun, I guess. I could actually hit it, sure. time to just blow up some more stuff, just to see if that helps us out here. Probably won't, but hey. Careful. Remember, it's the world of a movie, so everything explodes. See, I'm just sort of in this position now where I don't really know exactly what I'm doing here. So... I guess I can look it up. A guide from, like, 2000 or so, written by some smart mouth who's like, oh, well, this never happens to me. Oh, well, it didn't tell me. That's helpful. Do I just gotta restart this time, or do I gotta hope for the science man to show up or something? Drop a key card for me. I think it's coming down to I gotta reset this and try it again. Alright, well, this is how it goes. The very amusing looking animation. Of course, I'm sure part of that is because of the, 1998ness of this game. And there's our key card. Anyway, I want this guy's rifle ammo, so... Let the goons file out, so that way we don't have as much of a problem with that thing. Body armor. No, you bastard! Well, I'm gonna have to reset this again for that, I think. I'm taking one more shot and looking here. If you guys spawned in here with a fix for us. And it very much does not look like that's the case. Well, that's unfortunate. Come on, buddy. There we go. Head up. Which we're now about to get shot in the back. Means that'll cause that to go up in flames, which would be bad. Yeah, see, pretty easy once you actually know what you have to do. That's quite the ability for it to fail. Oh, don't shoot the science man. This is a strange looking room. Look out, guy. Thank you, I think. I'm assuming that went straight into our inventory. Or perhaps it's a thing that'll be used automatically. Oh, I got turned around, didn't I? Did I? Different looking location from what I remember. And excuse me. Fortunately, that writing on the wall is in Russian, so I don't understand what it says. It's a real font anyway. That's going the wrong way. I'm so confused. Oh, cool. That's objective A completed. Which is, hold up. Take a look through this list here, just out of curiosity. Gain entry to laboratory area. Interesting that I don't remember that ever specifically hanging before. But it feels like we just took a different route to get there entirely, so that's... likely to cause some sort of change. Let's get all these guys out of here. And here's 006 again. Objective B. Alright, sir, get away from those, please. And... it's Objective C completed. Now, we go where? This way, I guess? Yeah. There we go. I don't know what that would cause, to be honest with you, but hey. We got through it, and... Alright. Now we're on to part 3 of this mission. The runway. After, like, an hour of fumbling through that mission, I would apologize, but I don't know what I'm doing. My desk fell over. Service runway is the obvious escape route from the Archangelsk chemical weapons facility. Yes, obviously. Excuse me. 006 knew this was going to be a risky mission. His sacrifice should give you enough time to find an aircraft. Keep a cool head and you'll get out alive. Just be certain to knock out the heavy gun emplacements and missile battery, or they'll swat you out of the air like a silly fly. No time for gadgets here, 007. Just improvise with what you can find close to hand. Brace under pressure as always, James. Yeah, we'll see how long that fact lasts. Once again, start the mission with just our gun, with our pistol, and some timed mines. Oh boy. Can't say as I love think about that, but hey. Alright, well we found our ignition key here. Well, I guess the mines will help us take out the gun batteries, right? Because we gotta do that. So we don't just get shot down immediately. Ah, tank. This would probably also be a good thing to set on what things on. Ooh. I said set on it, but not that. But I guess we gotta throw them. Hold on, I don't even know if that's a useful endeavor. That tank may not even be destructible. Well, gotta be these gun batteries take down, right? Ah, yes, we got the Clob. Not to be confused with the Kleb. Clob is kind of infamously a really bad weapon. I remember that. Oh, but we can dual wield apparently, so that's neat. Actually, I mean, for the, like, 2 seconds we've used it, didn't seem so bad, but hey. Might just be a thing that's, like, not good for multiplayer. Which is what most people remember this game for, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, we're not really in a good position to do anything with that, so... See, the slight problem here is that I don't know exactly where I'm supposed to go. And my attempts to blow up that gun haven't really gone super well. Well, so much for the clobs. The wielding may not necessarily have been a very smart use of my ammunition, but hey. That tank get blown up? No, it did not. Okay. Surely we can't get in the tank, can we? Oh, yes, actually we can. Alright. I did not realize that. But hey, neat. So run guys over with the tank and they'll make quite a crunch sound. That's fun. Alright, and it's as simple as just getting the plane. It was a much easier mission in that case. Wow. Died during that. Wow. Terrible accuracy, but oh well. Okay, we're on to mission 2. Part 1, surface. Yeah, that's very descriptive. Gotta power down this communications dish. and enter the base via a ventilation tower, I guess. Background. A spy satellite has detected increased levels of activity at an old observatory complex near Severnaya. Coordinates in Russia. Other sources have confirmed the shipment of a large amount of computer hardware to that location and an influx of skilled personnel. It might be coincidence that there is a new head of the Soviet Space Weapons Division, your old friend General Urumov, or it might not. Penetrate the base and find out what is going on. Building plans for the underground section would be ideal. They're unlikely to just be lying around to look for a safe. There's bound to be someone you can borrow a key from. I've looked over the recon photographs and I advise you to stay clear of the main bunker entrance by the helipad. However, there seems to be a ventilation tower nearby, which would make an excellent spot for a covert entry. Excuse me. You ought to power down the comms dish too. No point in letting them tell the whole of Russia you've dropped in. It's cold in Siberia, James. Make sure you wrap up warm and take care to protect your extremities. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Cold there. Yeah, sorry, a bit of a tangle there. Alright, off we go. Barrels not explode. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for, but I was expecting to be the one who did that, so. Some grenade rounds? We have a grenade launcher? Or what? Door's locked to this one, so that's a little unfortunate. Nothing in here. Clob, there's a large key. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's a grenade launcher. Well, that answers my question from earlier. It's also probably how we'll deal with the, that thing. Clob, by the way, is named for Rareware employee Ken Lobb. I think we all kind of knew that already, but just to have a little bit of trivia in here to insert in the middle of this discussion. Discussion, I say, but still. Okay, so it was just power the dish down, I guess. Okay. I don't know why I thought I had to blow it up. That seems a little unsubtle. Oh no, that's just a skid mark on it. Oh well. For a second I thought it was an entrance downward. Nope. Here we go. Here's a way toward a little bit more for us here. Taking stuff off the desk. Locked. Explore the area and see if there's anyone around that we can deal with. It doesn't break crates. Oh well. Guess it can literally only be done with guns, which is a very strange choice, but hey. Anything we're allowed to take on these desks? Nope. Surely eventually it'll do something for me, right? Oh. That time I admit I was trying to turn the alarm on. I guess it makes sense there wouldn't be multiple of them available though at any particular time, right? Somehow blowing up those 2 cans of fuel doesn't really do that much for us in the end. It does a little bit, but not as much as you'd expect, I suppose. At least not compared to what I would expect in that little wooden cabin like that. Here, I can't just shoot the safe open, can I? Nah, I didn't think so. Blowing it up is probably a bad idea, too. Especially if there's supposed to be something in there that we want, so... you'll lose it. Big hole in there. It doesn't really lead anywhere useful, though, I don't think. Unfortunately, this area is like open air, which just amplifies some of the other issues, so I don't know if I'm coming or going, you know? This way I think is back towards the start of the mission. Yeah. It's not the most conducive to pathfinding. Yeah, I wish you could see. There we go. There's our safe key. All right. Well, now we got to get back to the place where the safe was, so... It's over here. Yeah, this is it. And we got our bunker plans. Excellent. Very good. And get that guy the fuck out of here. Is this the place I gotta go to enter from? Place that kind of stands out in terms of design. It also doesn't seem to have much of an entrance, so... Yeah, this is probably not it. Fortunately, that leaves me once again without a clear direction or goal here, but let's take a look. Back to the start, I believe, judging by the path curvature. Yeah. Got everything else done that we need to do, so... Hey. I'm not on a timer, the game's just giving me a bit of a time measurement. Timing me, but... only for the metrics, as it were. is, yeah, it wouldn't be the same place as the fucking radar dish. It's a ventilation tower. I mean, I will look anyway, but hey. Just a post of sorts. No, actually, it's just sort of have a texture that makes me think of ventilation a little bit, but yeah, okay, so that's where that was. This is out. No, it's just more of a support for the radar dish, which makes sense. The thing it was attached to, I think, is a big motor of sorts. Alright. Alright, we're... back to the entrance, never mind. Thinking. Not sure I am, almost. That thing is not very useful. That direction. That's over to the safe and the building with the alarm, so let's try going the other way from this building. Because otherwise, God, I am so lost. Here's the helipad. Doors locked. Access denied. Sets off an alarm. Oh. Actually, I think there was something about don't do that, but I've forgotten what it was. Stay clear of the main bunker entrance by the helipad. The ventilation tower is described as nearby, so... That's a little bit nebulous, though. Hey, we got that guy from a good distance. Nice. Always nice when something like that comes together. Ah, this has got to be it, right? Well, I mean, it was nearby. Fortunately, my problem is that I had forgotten about that whole description. That locked. Ah, I see. It's a very simple shoot the locks situation here. I've got these guys. Busy being problems, you know. And of course, this is always a very safe entrance to make, right? Drop right in like that, yeah. Good idea. That took me an unfortunate amount of time. Copy the GoldenEye key and leave original, and photograph main video screen. Alright, what's your... Spy satellite has detected increased levels of activity at an old observatory complex. Other sources have confirmed the shipment of a large amount of computer hardware to the... Oh, we already heard that before. 007, I want you to infiltrate this base and find out what the devil is going on there. Satellite photographs reveal that there has been recent underground excavation. We'd like to know the exact nature and planned extent of the workings. By the way, this is a covert operation. You may have to neutralize the security, but try not to be too obvious about it. Bad news here. You'll be doing some computer hacking on this mission 007. I know you'd rather be cracking open a bottle of bubbly than cracking passwords, so I've taken the liberty of putting together a little gadget which will do the hard work for you. If you attach the data thief to their mainframe, it should override any computer security measures and download the information we require. Underground in Siberia, James. Some of us don't get further than the northern line. Oh, I see. It's a... Now that said, folks... Excuse me. I'm actually going to... And yeah, it is super early. And this after I barely streamed last week, but... I am going to cut it here, and I apologize, but I'm not feeling super well. I don't think it's anything to do with the game, by the way, but the game is extremely dated, is all I can say about this. That's just the general thing I can say about it. It's just, yeah, it's a 1998 console FPS, and it plays like that. For what it is, it's pretty alright. I don't know how the multiplayer is, because I don't have access to that, but as that does seem to be a fair bit around the game's legend, maybe people just listen to me say that and not want to take my head, so that's my hope anyway.